Hey guys, just another quick video on our unit train for electric drives. You see it here with the high voltage battery, the inverter and the electric drive. But right now we want to focus on the high voltage battery. So you see here the tablet is connected with the unit train and we want to have a look at the high voltage battery, but in detail, what you see here with the fancy measuring cables. We want to have a look at the relays. So in this card or in this trainer we have two sorts of relays. So on the one hand we can check the standard relays, but on the other hand we can also have a look at the so-called smart relays. This is why we use our 4-channel oscilloscope that comes from the unit train. 4-channel oscilloscope, everything is connected. And now when I activate the ready mode, I go here with brake and start, then you see what happens here. So right now we see the switch on process from the relays, and also when I shut it off, what happens then. Right now I just will stop it here and now we can have a closer look at that. So there you see the three different relays basically and a high voltage. Okay, right now we don't have high voltage in that system, as this is for the beginners or for the first steps into high voltage. So we're talking here of 30 volt total voltage. This is what you see at this line here basically. So I'll just use this one, that's better. So this line here, that's the total high voltage, and you see it build up. You have this typical condensator charging, capacitor charging curve. And you see how it starts charging the capacitor, and then it switches from the pre-charge relay with the resistor to the normal high voltage plus relay, and this is where we reach then the complete high voltage basically. So right at the beginning you see that the high voltage minus relay is switching on and the pre-charging relay. I also can try to pull it a little bit out of each other. So let me check. When I go here, when I go here, and when I go here. So there you see now what basically happens. You see at first this light blue is the high voltage minus relay, that's switching on. Then we have the red, that's the pre-charge relay. So the pre-charge is coming on just for a short time in order to check the high voltage system and to charge the capacitor. And then the high voltage, that's the red line, will be shut down or will be opened again, and the high voltage minus relay, so that's the dark blue one, will come on, and in the end both will shut down. You see, so the high voltage, the pre-charge relay is gone long time before, of course, and here at the end where we shut down the high voltage system, minus relay and high voltage plus relay will shut down as well. So now we're gonna have a look at the smart relay. So I switch it on and now you will see what happens, the big difference. So it's again the build up process, but now you see the difference. It's the same to the high voltage main voltage, but the big difference is the behavior of the relays. So it's basically that are not different relays, but the control of it is just different. Now you see that they switching on and off multiple times. So you see the pre-charge relays coming up to the different times, and also the high voltage minus relay, for example, is different from the times it comes on or switches off. So just let me drag it a little bit from each other. Okay, let's now have a closer look. You see that the pre-charge relay comes on first with no relay else. So this is basically in order to check if the high voltage minus relay, so this light blue one, is open or closed. It should be open, but when it's welded shut, so it's broken basically, and it would would be closed, then you would get a high voltage signal. So then the high voltage pre-charge relay is opened again, or it's not controlled anymore. And then you see that the high voltage minus relay comes on first. And also to check that there is no reaction regarding the other two relays. So any kind of a high voltage signal would show or would prove that there is a fault of either the high voltage plus relay or the pre-charge relay, but all good in that instance. Then you see that the pre-charge relay comes on, and furthermore that the high voltage minus relay comes on as well. So normally, in order to charge the high voltage up to the certain point, then you see the switching between the pre-charge relay and the high voltage plus relay. That's the dark blue one. And you see normal high voltage is created basically. And then it just comes down that you have the signal here at the end. You see now high voltage plus relay is shutting down, but not the high voltage minus relay. This goes on a little bit in order to check if the high voltage plus relay is okay or not. And as soon as the high voltage minus relay is shut down, everything is done. Okay, so this is the idea of the smart relays.